now that the cannabis prohibition is unraveling, people are discovering therapeutic and medicinal uses for cannabis, and companies are experimenting and designing products to serve those people. We are huge supporters of therapeutic medical cannabis at MEDA. The whole recreational adult use thing is maybe all adult use, all recreational, maybe recreation itself is a form of therapy. So you can argue that.
I argue that all day.
Yes, so you can argue that as well, but definitely it's a medicinal thing. So this is a great success story. I love it.
It's one that it really, being in cannabis is difficult. The challenges are ever present, and it can become and feel like just a machine. And so when you hear how it affects people's lives and, all the challenges that we're experiencing, and we really do formulate for effect. We're not just saying, let's put some fun shit out there. We can cuss on this, right?
Yeah.
Let's fucking put some cool shit out there, make a good flavor profile, and call it a day. We target, so we know insomniacs. There's a large population of people that are insomniacs. So we were the first to bring CBN to Oregon because we trusted it. We tested it amongst ourselves. We wanted to just take, treatment a step further. And so that is what we are constantly on the forefront of evolution. We do a lot of R&D in-house.
We are back at MJ Unpacked, MEDA Unshackled, introducing you to some of the fine individuals that are circulating here and throughout the cannabis industry. I am pleased to be joined by two very successful, awesome female entrepreneurs in the space, and one of them, I'm not sure who owns Omega, but I know one of them is owned by one of my favorite female entrepreneurs who has the best hair in the cannabis industry. We're going to get into that here in a second. But first of all, let me introduce them to you. We're going to talk a little about who they are, what they're doing, what they're finding here in New Jersey. I always remember.
You're in New Jersey, but I understand you're.
I was just in San Diego, the Emerald Conference. We're going to Miami. We're traveling the world.
Mr. International.
We're grabbing people from the conference, and we're creating this big almanac online. We have like 500 to 1,500 people that we've interviewed over the last 18 months.
Wow.
And I kind of look at, like, if I was a college kid and I want to learn about who's in the industry, what's happening in the industry, where am I going to look, and who better than the industry people who should be out there in college teaching these kids, right?
Absolutely.
So that's kind of like a free college online thing.
That's really cool. I like it.
So we're going to start. We're going to start with Alexa first. Tell us about Omega and tell us about S3.
Absolutely. So I've been with Omega Equipment and Supply for about 5 years, and we are a wholly owned subsidiary of the Wasserstrom Company. So they are a fourth generation, 122-year-old food service company. So we have 5 distribution centers throughout the United States. We have the ability to stock, fabricate, manufacture. And so about 5 years ago, they started seeing orders coming off the shelf for not restaurants in California. And our owners, the Wasserstrom family, also recognize the medicinal benefit of the plant. Mm-hmm. And so as soon as COVID was starting, we started reallocating resources, offering credit terms to all of the operators out there, online order portals, transparency with direct pricing, product trials, and really, we started in cultivation. We've really grown to more manufacturing, extraction, so automated packaging. And we really ask, where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 10 years, right? Because you can, if you're thinking that far ahead, you can plan, right? You can cut concrete once versus twice. You can get power ordered. So it's been a whole process because it's not just selling equipment. It's very scientific, very SOP driven, but it's been a wonderful ride. And the S3 Collective was really founded after my first design. It was a 100,000 square foot facility.
You have a long history in design build, right?
Yes, so 20 years design build experience. Prior to joining this, I was a medical patient. I was told I'd have a feeding tube and I would file for disability. And so...
Cue in the cannabis.
Yeah, we're going to get to, we'll talk about your history as a patient. It's very important, and we do love the fact that you have a passion for the plant. But let's first introduce Gruen. Tara?
Gruen.
I'm Tara
Mooney.
Mooney. I'm
From
Vice
Gruen.
President of Gruen, Sales and Marketing. Gruen was founded in 2015 with our owner, Christine Smith. She was an architect. Decided that was a really stressful business, and the resource of wine and booze was really not helpful for her life. And
Christine's the one with the hair.
she's the one with the hair.
Awesome hair.
She had a baby. She made a radical change. She pulled her stocks out of her company, brought them into Gruen. We are still privately funded by Christine and Gruen. So she started with chocolate in Oregon in 2015, and now we are in 8 states. And we have 4 different product categories: chocolate, gummy, this really amazing thing called Pips. And
Pips.
we are constantly
Pips?
innovating and looking for
I love
a new
Pips.
product line.
This
Pips
is going to be
are
the ultimate.
fun time.
I know what's coming, and it's going to be a great endorsement for Gruen. I would endorse you anyways. You guys are a great company, very classy, great organization, great product. Well, what's a PIP?
A pip it's kind of a nod to Sixlets or M&Ms. So they're a low dose biscuit. They're like a biscuit center with layers of chocolate and then a hard candy shell.
Okay.
So they're really nice because we live in Arizona. Everything melts really fast, especially chocolate.
Right.
It doesn't melt quite as fast because of that chocolate, that outer. There's 50 pieces in per bag, and so it's a low dose, and they're just delicious. And we have 4 ratios that kind of mimic, our strategy as far as how we dose.
How many different SKUs do you have now?
32 fully burdened.
32. That's why I
Yep.
haven't seen. That's why I don't know about the PIPs. So 32 SKUs. Mm-hmm. And now they're not all in every single state, right?
Correct. Yeah. Some states either have regulations or our kitchen space is so small that we kind of prioritize
Yes.
the larger category, which is gummy, and so we typically launch
Well,
a new
that's why
state
you need a
with gummy.
design build kitchen person to help you with that. I'm just kidding.
It's-
Okay, we're going to tie this together here in 1 second.
I love it.
So, but you've been in 8. You're in 8 states, which
Mm-hmm.
means folks pay attention to that. These are the brands that are jumping from state to state. This is the model that they have to go through right now. And those that are getting 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, these are going to be the big brands of the cannabis industry going forward. Because that's just what's going to happen. There's a lot of nuances in there that
Dream.
occur. I could go into them, but we don't need to go into them right now. But 8 states is a great place to be. Fantastic success. What's your favorite
Thank
SKU?
you. Ooh, my personal favorite. So we just came out with the Tangelo is the flavor profile, and it's 2 parts THC to 1 part CBG and 1 part CBC. So I was just sharing with Dimitri that I've recently stopped drinking alcohol, but I'm in social situations often, and so it's a really great social lubricant. It's a sativa without the sativa-like effects that some people don't love, like heart palpitations and such. So it's a real, I really love to bridge the gap from pharmaceutical to the plant, and a lot of people, don't quote me on this, but a lot of people say that it has an effect similar to Adderall. And so I love the ability to, help people medicate
So
naturally.
what was that called again?
It's the Tangelo,
Tangelo.
2 to 1 to 1.
Tangelo.
And it's in the form of, currently we launched it in the Pearl form factor, but we will
Pay attention to that.
bring.
Yummy.
No,
So
that's
it's
cool.
new. It's in all of our states. New York is what we're launching next week.
Sorry,
So,
you threw me off there because
Those are-
my mind transfers over these philosophical things. I was thinking to myself, there's no substance, whether it's cannabis or alcohol or coffee, that will ever help me with social situations anymore.
oh,
I mean, everybody thinks I'm really great at socializing, but I found something in humanity that makes me not want to socialize anymore.
I feel
so I
that.
try to avoid social situations for reasons that no substance can ever help. It's a
give it a
long
whirl.
story.
I've got samples,
There's
Dimitri.
nothing now because it's something within humanity, within man and within woman, that
We've talked about
that
it.
I'm afraid of.
I know.
But it's
Yeah.
not that it's not fear anymore. It's just avoidance. I just want to avoid. So, anyways, long story. Long
I
story.
understand that.
Okay,
Oh,
so
dang.
I'm like, is there cannabis? Can that get rid of that? No. Alcohol? No. Just get the hell out of Dodge. Anyways, but this is one of my favorite. I love when somebody who actually knows their way around their plant, like you do, is working in the industry and you're doing design build. That's fantastic. You have a great career. Omega's a great company. Use them, Google them, understand them. But you also have an endorsement of Gruen.
Yes.
And maybe explain your little history as a patient.
I will, yeah, absolutely. So I met her yesterday, and they were on my list of people to meet here. So, 8 years ago, I ate a raw oyster. I woke up Christmas morning, just very sick. I proceeded to be sick for over a year, probably fully 2 years. Lost over 120 pounds. I was swollen out to here. I looked like I was pregnant. I smelled like sulfur, like Hot Springs Resort. Yeah, and I was burping all the time. It was really awesome. And I was designing restaurants, right? And so I would get sick, and if I took one bite of food, I would be full. So I eventually got to the Mayo Clinic. I had lost feeling in my legs because I had 98 of vitamin B. I was starving to death. I had no nutrition in me. I broke my foot because I, hit a doorway going through it. I had all these different surgeries, and I had 2 young children at the time, and we were just you're trying to get through it, right? And so one of the biggest challenges for me was I didn't know what was wrong with me at first, and I eventually found out. But they wanted to give me a feeding tube. They told me I was going to be on disability, and I went back to cannabis. I got my medical card. And so Lilac Mazur, she was my other thank you.
Female boss.
Other thank you. But it was,
Giving Tree, Arizona.
Yeah, it was Giving Tree, Arizona, Mazur Collective. She's amazing. But, 6 years ago, she was one of the first people doing these different formulas, different capsules. She had, different cannabinoids, the terpenes on there. And so I would buy these capsules. I would go into the dispensary and argue with them, and this doesn't work, and they had to educate me. And I learned I couldn't eat edibles because they would kick in 6 days later. So I would be going to carpool with the neighbor kids, and I'd have to text the neighbor and say, hey, these gummies from a week ago just kicked in.
I can't even imagine.
I can't drive, right. And it was what is happening, And so fast forward, I was up in Oregon. It was during COVID. We go up there for the summer. My husband's from there. And I was trying products for another client because I do heavy doses, and I'm very terpene sensitive. And so, for example, he had me trying beverages up there. And I had, 300 milligrams worth, but there was no terpenes, and it was just like water. And so I saw these pearls in a dispensary, in the Chalice dispensary.
The pearls are our gummy.
Yes, and it was like, oh my gosh, I can just eat one gummy and have 100 milligrams. So I got it, thinking, no way.
Oh, you had a mega pearl.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
A mega pearl.
That is our single dose.
Yes.
We brought that to the market.
Yes.
Right, so talk about the Mega Pearl.
Well, so the Mega Pearl, so when you're a med patient and you're wanting to eat this, you don't want to have to eat like handfuls of medicine or candy to get it that way. And so I was used to eating these big bars, and I wouldn't know if they'd work. So it said fast acting on it. And so I got this Mega Pearl, and I bought a bunch of them, and I brought them home, and I ate it, and it was like, it worked. Within 45 minutes, it worked. And I mean, I got on the internet. So when I met you yesterday,
it was serendipitous.
It was.
It made my day.
It was, and that you live in Arizona is even cooler.
I know.
Because I really wanted to say thank you, because that day I went on your website. I read all about your owner. I read about your story. At that time, you were doing a different type of extraction and using a nano formula up
vapor
there.
Extraction,
yes,
yeah.
Vapor extraction. And so I went on there. I learned about it. I messaged the company to say thank you, but I was connected with another good friend of mine now, Matt Brocksterman, in the industry, because I said, what is this extraction? And he said, Gruen is doing the nano formula, and you were the first brand where I saw you had, CBG, CBN, 3-to-1 formulas. The sativa story was a great example. I'm clearly very energetic. Sativa's, not great for me. But with your product, 3-to-1, I can eat it.
That's 3 parts CBG to 1 part THC. Yep.
Yes. And it's beautiful. So this was part of my kind of thank you tour.
Yes.
I do want to cry. I also have really bad allergies, so my eyes are watering.
No, but this is actually the best part about
It
the
really
cannabis
is.
industry to me, because in 2012, I was trying to figure out what was going on. And I was awakening to the fact natural medicines, plant-based medicines, cannabis is a medicine. All substances should be used to balance yourself out, to make yourself more excellent. God willing, maybe we can wave a magic wand and no vaccines, no substances would ever be needed by anyone, but that's not reality. But the substances should be available, and people should use them and choose to use them wisely. And now that the cannabis prohibition is unraveling, people are discovering therapeutic and medicinal uses for cannabis, and companies are experimenting and designing products to serve those people. We are huge supporters of therapeutic medical cannabis at MEDA. The whole recreational adult use thing is maybe all adult use, all recreational, maybe recreation itself is a form of therapy. So you can argue that.
I argue that all day.
Yes, so you can argue that as well, but definitely it's a medicinal thing. So this is a great success story. I love it.
It's one that it really, being in cannabis is difficult. The challenges are ever present, and it can become and feel like just a machine. And so when you hear how it affects people's lives and, all the challenges that we're experiencing, and we really do formulate for effect. We're not just saying, let's put some fun shit out there. We can cuss on this, right?
Yeah.
Let's fucking put some cool shit out there, make a good flavor profile, and call it a day. We target, so we know insomniacs. There's a large population of people that are insomniacs. So we were the first to bring CBN to Oregon because we trusted it. We tested it amongst ourselves. We wanted to just take, treatment a step further. And so that is what we are constantly on the forefront of evolution. We do a lot of R&D in-house. We do a lot of double-blind testing. And, it's...
Well, and I want to add on, too, some of the products that aren't nano still work for me, and I think it's really attributed to your high quality ingredients. They're consistent. I don't know.
And I do have to say, we don't technically, there's no nano emulsification.
Yeah.
In most of our states, we do a rosin hybridized blend to make sure that we can get that entourage effect, but still have the great taste and keep the price where we need it. Rosin is expensive as an oil, so we do a blend. So that could help kind of propel that that faster release, but we don't technically add any nano to anything. But you're right. Our ingredients are locally, ethically sourced. We bring our gelatin all the way from Japan. In fact, the food scientists for Haribo created our gummy line, and it really did help us figure out the best way to make the most authentic, perfectly bouncy gummy. So aesthetically, and then the taste and the effect.
Yeah, they work great. The chocolate's great too.
The chocolate does.
Destiny, I'm thinking both of them could be part of our pavilion.
Oh shit!
Think about how well they fit into the pavilion concept. We have something big coming. It's going to be cool. Well, maybe we'll see. It's either going to be a pavilion at MJ BizCon, or it's an independent pavilion at MJ BizCon, or its own conference. I don't want to run conferences, but it's such a good concept that it belongs
somebody's
out there.
Do it.
Yeah. Or you might partner with MG Unpacked. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
But both your companies would fit perfectly into it. But you guys, we try to keep these 20 minutes. You guys are fantastic individuals. Anything else we want to share about your history that I kind of missed? Or why did you get into cannabis? When was this?
I got into cannabis in 2016. I started with Select. My heart is, every state that goes legal, there's a 33% reduction in overdose death. And I had a very close friend and family member that, unfortunately, had an injury, had to take opioids, led to something really tragic. So my heart lies with what the plant can do both right now to help you, but long term. And that passion is what drives me.
2012, I got into the industry to make money. Over the first 4 years, I changed my entire life. I'm not making money now. I made money before. Now it's all about advocacy and teaching, education, and helping other people learn what I learned. But, we all have our different journey, and that's absolutely fantastic. Oops. What is that?
Okay. I just dropped something.
You see, that wouldn't happen if it was a Gruen product right now.
No, it wouldn't. It would be in my belly.
I should have it all lined up.
Well, that's a vape pen, but you guys don't make vape pens yet.
No. We stay in our lane.
No.
We won't be going into other lanes.
Maybe one day you'll be called to come into that lane, too. You probably do something
There's
else.
some that do it really well. We let them play in the, you know.
It's enough
All
for
right.
everyone.
Let's see. How's this? Anything else we missed about you that you want to share?
No, I would just say, we're in it for the medical benefits too. We're in it doing
Yes.
what's best for the client. I believe in cannabis being a better solution. Also very supportive. We do work in psilocybin. We can sell psilocybin supplies. I lost my brother to suicide almost 8 months ago. And so to me, I mean, this is, we have people doing the research. I had access to it, but it's still in process. And so to me, like, this is personal. This is for future generations. This is for my children.
Yeah.
This is for, your friends, family, this is for creating a better future. And our goal is to do the best and get science and data out there. I acknowledge a lot of it's out of our control, politics and stuff, but to me, if we can save lives, I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I'm here for.
And that's where I lost my train of thought because what you were talking about quickly. After I started in cannabis and the cannabis industry and educating about cannabis in 2013, 14, 15, people started coming to me all the time saying, Dimitri, you're doing the right thing. While in all my other careers, all my other jobs, nobody ever came to me and said, hey, Dimitri,
Right.
you're doing the right thing. So that's incredibly rewarding in helping unravel this prohibition world and helping educate people, not just about cannabis, but about all plant-based
Absolutely.
medicines.
Yep.
All alternatives out there, and not be so narrow-minded that if you don't pop a pill, you're not going to solve your problems.
Propaganda does not work on me. It's not
So,
gonna happen.
but it worked on me for a while, but now I've totally changed.
Well, and then
since 2012.
that makes you the best advocate.
Yeah.
You can, you know the argument on both sides.
3 years doing nothing but working with my family, studying regulations, licensing, law, policy, history, and substance abuse, substance use theory. Substance, how we relate to them and why we have them and how they're available and when and where they should be used. I would have never done that in my life had it not been for the cannabis industry. And I did a full 180 on my perception of the world. So you guys are fantastic, and I look forward
You are too, Dimitri.
to following both your companies' success. And it's very important to note out there that supporting their companies helps support good individuals that are out there advocating for the betterment of the community, betterment of the plant, and the betterment of the world in general. So we really appreciate what you guys do.
I want to thank you. Only
thank you.
8% of businesses are run by women in the cannabis industry, and Christine Smith is
Yes.
a rock star.
Yes.
She's making it happen
Yes.
for a lot of us women.
Absolutely. That's absolutely fantastic. I was about to mention her hair again, but she probably
She
gets
has really
tired of
fucking
that.
great hair.
So,
I can't wait to see it.
no, it really is. It's
Yeah.
memorable.
I need to see it.
It's exciting just watching it. But it's exciting watching her too.
Exciting to watch.
And Gruen, of course. She probably wants to focus on Gruen, not her hair, not her.
She is Gruen. She's the mother of the edibles.
Yes, yeah. And Omega, it's fantastic. We look forward to your success in the cannabis industry
you.
as well. So thank you guys for joining us, and come to these conferences because this is the kind of fantastic people that you meet. This has been another episode of Meet Unshackled.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
What's up?